If you're watching this video, I'm guessing it's because you're looking for an answer to one of the following questions. How do I ask a company for an internship? Who should I reach out to if the company doesn't have internships listed on their website? What if the company doesn't have any internships listed for the department that I want to work in? And is it appropriate to ask a company if they would create an internship for me? I get these questions from students a lot. And as it turns out, I have firsthand experience with creating internships for myself that did not previously exist or were never publicly listed. I asked my way into 3 out of the 4 internships that I had in college. Look, if you never ask, you'll never get the internship. So what do you have to lose by asking? I'm going to share how I successfully asked for internships in this video. Hit the like button if you're excited to learn something new today, and subscribe for new videos every single week on this channel. Hey there, I'm Jenna Ryan from the internhustle.com, and this is Initiative Muscle Monday, helping you to start each week with an intentional step toward a successful future. Let's do this. How do I ask a company for an internship? Or should I send them an email asking for an internship? My answer? It depends. To help you out, I'm going to walk you through a few different scenarios and tell you how I would approach each one of them. Scenario number 1. The company has internships, but they have no clear or advertised application process. This is when you know that the company has internships, because they've offered internships in the past, or you've seen that people have had these internships, but they don't talk about them anywhere on their website or even on their LinkedIn page. And internships don't exist on the careers page of their website, and you just really don't know how to apply. Scenario number 2. The company has internships listed on their website with a clear application process for you, but the roles are limited. So in this case, it's clear to you how to apply for the internship with the company, but they don't have any internships listed for the specific role or department that you are interested in. Scenario number 3. The company just doesn't have internships. In this scenario, I'm assuming that you've done your research on the company, and from what you can tell, they've never had an internship program before, and they don't currently have one now. Before I dive into the how-to part of this video, I want to highlight 2 important things for you. Number 1, don't be a resume spammer. Just emailing your resume to a company with no clear introduction or strategy is not going to help you get the internship. And if your resume isn't tailored to the company and the specific role that you want, then you will most definitely not get the internship. For more information on how you should tailor your resume for a specific internship opportunity that you want to apply for, and to get the rest of my resume tips, go ahead and check out these videos. But please, hear me when I say, do not go around sending out your resume spam to a bunch of different companies in your attempt to ask for an internship. The second thing that I want to point out before we jump into the how-to is, with all of these scenarios, you have to be committed to the goal. If you really want this internship, then invest your time and energy into getting it. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to help you answer the question for yourself: how do I ask a company for an internship? And we're going to go through this from the 3 scenarios that I just laid out for you. And we're going to start with scenario number 1. And just as a reminder, scenario number 1, the company has internships, but they have no clear or advertised application process. So this is the scenario that I get the most emails about, and DMs and comments on my YouTube videos and all of the things. Students always want to know, how can I get my foot in the door if the company hasn't even given me someone to contact for their internship program? And I know they have internships because I've seen other people intern for this company, but I just have no idea where to start. So you really want to intern for this company, but you don't know where to begin. They haven't given you a clear, big, neon apply here sign. And you may be wondering, why would a company not want to advertise their internship program? How do they find interns if they don't have an application process or someone to contact? The answer is, companies who don't advertise their internships, in most cases, they don't need to. These companies have a sought-after internship, and they know that they have no shortage of qualified candidates who will find them. A lot of times, these companies will also fill their internship vacancies with referrals. These can be referrals from employees, clients, universities, or even past interns. So, are you out of luck if you want to intern with a company like this? No. And I'm proof. And does what I'm about to share with you work every time to get your foot in the door? No. And I'm proof of that as well. How do you ask for an internship with a company that's playing hard to get? To start, you need to find a person at the company to connect with. This works best if you have some kind of introduction. A warm introduction from someone you met at a networking event, or maybe it's even a family member or a friend. But you can do cold outreach as well. And if you're looking for networking tips and ways that you can meet people and just establish more professional contacts for yourself so that you're not always having to do cold outreach, then check out these videos that I have for some of my networking ideas for students. I want you to find someone within the company who is either specifically related to the role or department that you aspire to get an internship with, or someone who's a decision maker at the company. And decision makers can be the head of a department, a recruiter, or an internship director, or in some cases, they're even the president or the CEO of the company. Now, a lot of times this depends on how big the company is. After you identify the right person to connect with, the next step is, you guessed it, to reach out to them. This is the part that most people don't want to do because it's uncomfortable and because rejection happens. I'm telling you right now, you have to get over it. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video? If you never ask, you'll never get the internship. So here's how I suggest you reach out. Email the contact that you've identified through your research and ask them if they're open to doing an informational interview with you. I am a big fan of informational interviews. In fact, it's the topic that I teach the most on in my workshops and webinars that I do for universities and student organizations. You can learn a lot through conducting informational interviews, and you start to build important relationships for your professional network. I have an entire video dedicated to how to reach out for an informational interview, and there's even a free worksheet with a sample email template that goes along with it. So go check that out. I have included links for both the video and the worksheet that includes the email template in the description below this video. Now, how does an informational interview help you ask for an internship? Well, it gets your foot in the door, and it allows you to create a stronger connection with someone at the company. You're no longer a random person asking for an internship. You're a person that they've had the chance to connect with. And if you did all of this right, you've shown how professional you can be and how invested you are in their company. And if you did your research and you identified the best person to connect with up front, then you're going to be in an even better position to ask about internship opportunities at the end of your informational interview. Look, always read the room first and make sure that it feels appropriate to ask, but at the end of the informational interview, or even in a follow-up email after your informational interview, you can ask about internship opportunities. The direct way to do this, if you feel that it's appropriate to do so, would be something like, "Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Meeting you and learning more about the company only confirmed my interest in what you do. I am currently pursuing internship opportunities, and I am very interested in an opportunity with your company. How could I go about applying for an internship with your company now or in the future?" Now notice I said future. That's because they could have already filled all of their current internship positions, and you don't want to rule yourself out for any future opportunities. And if being that direct just doesn't feel right, then the indirect way to go about asking for an internship would be, "Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. Meeting you and learning more about the company only confirmed my interest in what you do. I'm currently pursuing internship opportunities. Do you have any suggestions for me on how I can increase my chances of landing an internship with your company or within the industry?" This is a great way to approach asking for an internship because it still lets them know that you're interested in becoming an intern with their company, but it doesn't put them on the spot as much as the direct approach does. It also gives them the opportunity to suggest other internships that they may know about. Maybe they don't have an internship available for you with their company, but they do know someone else in the industry who is looking for an intern, and they could then make a warm introduction for you. The informational interview strategy has worked for me in some cases, and in others, it hasn't. But that's why it's so important to practice making the ask. Do as many informational interviews as you can. I successfully got an internship with a sports agency that never posts about its internships. And I did this by landing an informational interview with the founder and making the ask. But on the flip side, I also once got a warm introduction to an executive at the Cleveland Browns. And I tried my hardest to get an informational interview with him. And I even sent the follow-ups like you're supposed to. But he never got back to me. I never got the informational interview. So you win some and you lose some. But you have to try to win any at all. Moving on to scenario number 2. And remember, this is the company has internships listed on their website with a clear application process, but the roles are limited. Well, you have more to work with than scenario number 1, so that's positive. And if the company has a clear application process for their available internship positions, then this also means that they probably have somebody who's in charge of recruiting for the internship program, or they're running the internship program altogether. If there's a specific role or department that you are looking to for an internship, but the company doesn't currently have it listed as an option, then you can go about asking for the internship in a couple different ways. First, you can follow similar steps to what I outlined with scenario number 1 and conduct some informational interviews with people in the department that you would like to intern for. And if you can get to know them and build relationships with them, more importantly, if you can demonstrate to them the value that you can add to their department as an intern, then they can go and be an advocate for you at their company. They can do a lot of the heavy lifting and open up the right doors at the company to get you into the internship position that you are interested in. Because if you position yourself well with them, they're gonna wanna add you to their team as a resource. It is to their advantage to help you get this internship. The other option is going right to the hiring source. If a company has other internships posted, chances are you can find the individual who's in charge of the hiring process. Sometimes this person's listed on the careers page, the job description for the role, or you can find them on the company's team page. Look for titles like internship coordinator, supervisor, manager, or director, or university, college, or campus recruiter. And keep in mind that sometimes the person in charge of the interns is the hiring manager or the lead for the given department that the interns are reporting into. Once you identify the right person, then your job is to pitch them on why they should hire you for the internship role that you're suggesting. Create the position that you want. To do this, draft up a job description and concisely list the reasons why you want to intern for this company, while also demonstrating the value that you can provide them. I suggest pulling job descriptions from similar internships with other companies and using these as a starting point when you're drafting your own. However, make sure that you tailor the job description that you're creating to the company that you are interested in. Show them that you're a self-starter and that you won't require a lot of additional work on their part. Make it easy for them to insert you into their hiring process and ultimately their internship program. When I was hoping to get an internship with the Chicago Bulls, I checked their website first, as one typically does. You check their website to see if there are any internships available. And they did have some internships listed, but most were within their marketing or ticket sales department. And I wanted a very specific internship. I wanted a strength and conditioning internship. So their website didn't help me out. So my approach was to go right back to the informational interview strategy that I shared with you and go straight to the man in charge. I tracked down the head strength and conditioning coach for the Chicago Bulls and I asked him for an informational interview. He said yes, and he let me ask him some questions that summer. And a year later, I had a strength and conditioning internship with the Chicago Bulls. So remember what I said at the beginning of this video about being committed to the goal. And if you really want this internship, you have to be in it for the long game in some cases, because sometimes it takes time to build that relationship. Or in this case, he already had interns for that summer, so it wasn't an option for me. But I stayed in touch, I continued to follow up with him, and I had an opportunity the following summer to be a strength and conditioning intern with the Chicago Bulls. The third and final scenario that I'm covering in this video is the company doesn't have internships. Now, this one has similar tactics to the last. If you've done your research and you can tell that this company doesn't have an internship program, then what can you do about it? Again, create the position that you want. Go back and rewatch the last section of this video if you need to, where I talk about how to create a job description for the position that you want. This is an especially effective strategy with smaller companies. A lot of smaller companies don't think that they have the time to organize and lead interns, so they just don't even bother with it. However, these are the exact companies that need interns. They could use more help around the office. If you can effectively communicate your value add to the company and then draft a convincing job description for the internship position, then a company will be a lot more inclined to take you on, even if they didn't intend to hire any interns in the first place. Show them why they would be a fool to say no to you. Now, while I don't have personal experience with this scenario, from an internship standpoint that is, I have seen this work well for others. People get internships this way all the time, just by drafting up a job description and presenting themselves as a strong candidate. And personally, I've created jobs for myself within companies this way throughout my career. Multiple times in my career, I have been hired by a company to do one thing based on my past experiences or referrals into the company. And then I pivoted and created a new role for myself a few short months later. How did I do this? By demonstrating the value that I could provide to the company and then drafting up a convincing job description about how I could serve them better going forward. And this is how could I save them resources like time and money, or what new strategic initiatives could I create and then execute on for them? Creating the position that you want is doable if you present it in a compelling way. Honestly, out of the scenarios that we discussed, I don't see any of these three scenarios as a negative position for you to find yourself in. If internships aren't clearly advertised or readily available with a company, it usually means that you're not going to face as much competition for them, even if they're internships that a lot of people want, because I find that most people are pretty lazy. They want the quick wins, like just being able to respond to a posting online with a simple application process. They then apply and just hope for the best as their application gets lost in the vortex of hundreds of other applications. But if you're willing to do what many aren't and put in a little bit more work up front, then you may just wind up with a pretty great internship that in some cases did not even exist when you set out for it. Go get them, and best of luck. If you're looking for even more creative ideas on how to land an internship, then check out this video on my channel next, where I give you 5 ideas on how to get an internship you want. And remember to check the description below this video for suggested videos to watch next and access to the email template for how to reach out for an informational interview that I mentioned earlier. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you some new insights today, please give it a like and share it with a friend or two. Hit that red subscribe button below so that you don't miss out on future videos. In support of your hustle, I'm Jenna from the internhustle.com, and I'll see you next Monday.